What's wrong with a short game? Why can't a game be equally art as they are a game? Hellblade isn't the first and certainly won't be the last game to delve into deeper themes or even become as equally an interactive film as it is a linear action-adventure game. I say stick with your vision and create what you want no matter what. Ninja Theory is a relatively small studio of around 120 people that have achieved great feats among their works, Hellblade being what truly put them on the map. But even that wasn't as beloved in 2017 as it is now. Ironically, the same year Prey 2017 came out, another game that, while more in-depth gameplay-wise, it didn't get the love it deserved until several years later. Hellblade isn't loved for its combat, gameplay loop, or length. It's loved for its interpretation of Psychosis, the interesting world and themes it tackles. Sure, it's 25% walking sim, 25% combat, 25% puzzles, and 25% cinematic narrative, but that's kinda why it all comes together to create a great experience in a different but similar way to the game design elements in Alan Wake 1 or 2. Another game that came out that same year, Resident Evil 7, which lit a flame under the ass of its franchise and brought it back into the big leagues. It's short and it's great. It's less than 10 hours if you just play it casually, and barely over 11 to 12 hours if you 100% it. The same goes for Resident Evil 2 Remake, Dead Space, or even the Callisto Protocol. So the length of the experience doesn't always matter, it's the journey you go on. Those who complain about game length are the same people in the group who hop around from game to game and never finish anything, but they certainly make the time to complain on Twitter. Rise Son of Rome, with its many faults, is still a visually impressive and solid game to this day, also with a short runtime and even got called a tech demo, even though, personally, with its mix of history, mythology, and culture, all wrapped up into a fictionalized, fun little title, it was pretty good in my opinion. A Plague Tale Innocence and Requiem are also some of the few AA games to follow in Hellblade's footsteps, reaching deep and being an ambitious, but relatively simple experience with a nice short length with no fluff. There's nothing wrong with subverting expectations like Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy being one of the most well-written games I've played to date, and even surprised me with its visual fidelity as well. It's also perfectly fine to be exactly what people expected. Hellblade 2 didn't subvert expectations, it released as exactly what you should have expected. It's Hellblade, but better in every way. The audio-visual design, cinematic storytelling, graphics, and gameplay are improved across the board. The gameplay is pretty much identical to the first game with a few small tweaks, and maybe a little bit more linear because it's more one-on-one focused throughout than the few times throughout the first game where you got to face more than one enemy at a time, but I think this way it actually works better because it's very seamless mixed in with a lot of cinematic transitions and finishers. Much like how Senua was sacrificed through her death by Hela, which was seemingly just a manifestation of her grief and pain, allowed her to find an inner peace, Hellblade 2 shows that she must be able to help herself before she can effectively help others. The game often takes away those who give her guidance and forces her to adapt. Hellblade 2 shows that others have their own demons they deal with, and even though you feel alone with yours, someone else is also dealing with something. Only when united as a people can many of those stricken by affliction overcome their ailments. It's okay to ask for help, even if it may be hard. Senua's journey teaches us that only by trusting in others and their trust in us can we help each other through insurmountable obstacles. Hellblade 1 and 2 are much like George Miller's work on Fury Road and Furiosa, or even Hideo Kojima's Death Stranding. Death Stranding shows the struggles of connecting the world in a time where connection is dangerous and the journey is full of death and suffering, yet full of hope for something better. Kojima really showed you can make a profound experience beyond the moment-to-moment gameplay. George Miller showed in Furiosa what you can achieve even through production troubles and criticism. Furiosa masterfully tells an origin story of a powerful and deep protagonist, but also faced much criticism due to Miller's unique storytelling methods, character focus, and use of visual effects combined with the more practical. In the same way Death Stranding is looked at as a walking and delivery simulation, it's actually all about the narrative journey and how the gameplay exemplifies the goal for its direction. Hellblade and Hellblade 2 are games bringing awareness of Psychosis to the best of their ability, an odyssey to overcome adversity and find peace, mentally and emotionally, a journey of fighting grief, trauma, and Senua's own identity crisis. Senua sacrifices herself for her love, she fights her demons so she can help others fight theirs, The Hellblade series shows a new and impressive way to synthesize artistic mediums through storytelling, bringing an action-adventure video game seamlessly into a film-like cinematic experience, visually and through audio. And man, their use of 3D binaural audio is even better in Hellblade 2 than it was in 1. I mean, just being able to hear the voices in your left ear, your right ear, or even make it sound as if they're right behind you, and everything feels so much closer. It's mind-blowing, really. Calling it just a walking sim or a tech demo is like looking past the story of redemption in Red Dead 2, or calling the Outer Worlds only a Fallout clone versus a nuanced take on capitalism and freedom. Duke Nukem could have been called just a Doom clone, but it was so much more than that due to its engine and many other important details that set it apart from games, but also media as a whole. Ninja Theory crafted 2 unique and unforgettable adventures, blending together classic game tropes with that of film. Bringing awareness to something while hiding it beneath fact and fiction, the use of culture and mythology are truly powerful in ways that wouldn't be in other games. It's a hard thing to balance, but they did a pretty good job. Nothing is perfect, but these games come pretty dang close at times. The Hellblade games are a must-play experience for lovers of narratives, films, games, and an unforgettable journey. So stay positive, fight the good fight, and ponder the question, do you have to become toxic yourself to survive in a toxic world? Or can you rise above all that toxicity and become the solution? Oh, and
do you have it in you to make it epic?